Hey guys, Redrix here. Guys, please stay until the end because I got a huge treat for you guys at the very end of this video and you're not going to miss it. I promise you, you're going to love this little treat that I got if you watch the entire video. But please be sure to subscribe and like, that would mean a lot as we're trying to hit 17k. But other than that, let's get right into the meat of the video. Now, if you guys didn't know, Season of the Seraph just launched, and with that, we finally have confirmation that there was no new strikes with Season 19. So we can say that this whole entire year, except for Witch Queen, there was no new strikes. Now, me personally, that really does suck. Of course, the Crucible got some changes, and that was great, but there was no big strikes with the season. I could be wrong, but it's very unlikely that we'll receive a strike until Lightfall, which is about 2 months away. But still, that really felt annoying to have no new strikes for a whole year. Now, I got some news, and I've been getting a huge announcement on the upcoming future for strikes, and I gotta admit, if you guys love strikes, you're gonna love this. So please be sure to watch until the end. But let's get into it. So strikes again haven't been getting much love. They've just been, dwelling in the past, not getting any big, changes towards the seasons. Of course, there was some new strike-specific loot for the seasons, and if there has been grandmasters, and of course we have some strike loot always rotating within seasons, but we haven't had like a massive change with it. And usually every year before an expansion, there's massive changes with the core activities, and we are gonna get some big changes to strikes, as Destiny 2 leaks recently confirmed that Bungie is planning to add a more difficult strike playlist in Year 6. Even furthermore, a strike rework is going to be in development for the future. This is big news. If you guys don't know, strikes have 3 playlists. Of course, the original normal strike if you just want to play something simple, and you also have the Nightfall, and then of course grandmasters. And like me, I don't play a lot of grandmasters. I just find no need to. Of course, it's one of the best ways to get materials, but it's just, why put through so much effort in it sometimes? I know a lot of people is going to hate me for that, and I know if you love grandmasters, that's your thing, and I gotta admit, huge love to you, pal, but I'm not that guy. I literally feel like it's way too much, and I don't feel like I'm going to put or get a lot of rewards out of something that I find really interesting. Of course, you can get ascendant alloys and ascendant shards and all this materials, but at the same time, I can always get that, and I get the whole, adept weapons, but it doesn't feel the same to Destiny 1, and I understand why, but it's just not the same feeling, and I don't know if you guys have seen that feeling, but it just hasn't been that for me. Well, Bungie is planning for a new strike playlist, and if you guys played Destiny 1 or at least Destiny 2 Year 1 and 2, you guys know that Heroic Strikes was another playlist that was in Destiny at some point. It was one of the best playlists I loved because I wanted something that was difficult, but I didn't want, of course, do something that was, as difficult as a Nightfall, because of course with all the Nightfall modes and with all the Grandmaster modes, I get why it was difficult, and I get why a lot of people would do it through the weeks. And don't get me wrong, Nightfalls is awesome, but I would love to do a strike that seems a bit more difficult, and I would get strike specific loot out of it. It would be cool if 3 strikes per week were selected and there was one piece of armor or loot that was maybe amazing, just looks awesome, or just was a common weapon that you would not find anywhere else within the season. That was what Destiny 1 was like, and that was just a amazing experience to go in and play it. I don't know why Bungie removed it, probably because they were thinking of adding, champions and all that stuff in the Shadowkeep, but it really sucked when they removed it. Now Bungie is now finally planning to add something in Year 6 in terms of a new strike playlist. I don't know if it will be Heroic Strikes, but to have the news of finally getting something else towards it is awesome. Of course, Crucible has gotten Rift, has gotten momentum control, it's gotten modes, and of course it's not huge, but at least they gotten something. Strikes hasn't really got a whole new mode, and other than just Bungie adding Battlegrounds to the strike playlist, there really hasn't been anything too crazy. So hopefully Bungie will let us know how the strike playlist will look like and what it is in the near future, probably around January or December, and maybe even February, even then. who knows, before Lightfall releases, and that will give us an insight on what they are planning for Lightfall. Furthermore, Bungie had confirmed in an interview that they have been aware of the lack of updates to the strikes as well as the other core activities, and it has been a big topic for them. They love the the days where there was a lot of content, there was a lot of maps, there was a lot of missions, and of course a lot of that was lost to sunsetting. And now with sunsetting gone, they're going to start looking back to younger, older content. More importantly, Bungie is going to be really excited to show us what they have in store for this year, like adding more stuff to the Vanguard playlist around Lightfall. We're going back to some of the old strikes, and we're going to update them. Now, the way of how he says it, we haven't really understand what he means by update them, but what we're necessarily going towards is maybe going back, changing the variants, changing the enemies. Of course, one of my great friends, Asox, just made a YouTube video on how awesome it would be if they added the stasis fallen bosses, the tormentors, and the hive guardians to the older strikes, and adding a cooler boss. That would be awesome. Of course, one of the things that probably is lackluster in strikes is fighting the same goddamn enemy. If we got awesome new enemy variants, or at least just a new boss in general, and maybe some new mechanics within the old strikes, you don't even need to make a whole new one, just changing the mechanics within it to something a bit more difficult to surprise people a bit, to make it look like it's a whole new type of thing, but still keeping that nostalgia, that same sense of what the strike really is. A lot of people is going to like that. So going back to that, again, Bungie is planning to go back to some of the older strikes and give them the same attention that the new content has. We received 2 strikes with Witch Queen, and of course we're probably going to receive 2 to 3 strikes with Lightfall. That is awesome to know, and I'm probably going to get some maybe loot towards those strikes, and those strikes are probably going to be awesome on Neo Moon or wherever it is, but that's it. Like, we need some big in-depth stuff towards strikes. We need some big changes towards them in general, and having a new playlist and then going back to the older strikes will be awesome. Will be really goddamn awesome. And Bungie is planning to do 2 of those things around Lightfall, which is just great to see. We of course are going to get some of the strike changes earlier, and they're going to plan a TWAB like they did with Witch Queen, which is always really good. So we'll receive some more news, and subscribe and turn on the bell so you guys don't miss out on those changes. But again, really awesome news to hear that. But another thing that I really want Bungie to go into is changing the weapon types, changing the rewards. Of course, each season we've gotten, new weapons like the Stasis SMG, and getting, cool ass weapons. That's what the thing is. But back in Destiny 1 or Destiny 2 Shadowkeep or Beyond or Forsaken, the pinnacle weapons, those weapons were so awesome. Having weapons and those rewards in the strikes just make it meaningful. Going back and giving strikes the same attention is going back and changing the loot of those. How cool, again, would it be if you got a new armor piece or a new gun that was suited to a strike that you just enjoyed, and there was something to brag off to your things, to brag off to your friends, to tell them that this was awesome. Now, I know a Sparrow or a Ghost Shell is okay, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for exotic stuff. Exotic Sparrows and ships that change, that are just awesome, that are unique. Like, again, there's some stuff in here that I felt like just didn't get any love. And again, I know strikes always get weapons, and Gambit and Crucible too, but they're not gonna break the game. They're just not. Like, how cool was it when you got your Breakneck or your Recluse or your Edgewise? Like, I want some similar thing to that. I know why it was removed, because it was overpowered, but again, that sense of having that amazing weapon that you want to go grind for, that's like powerful, and then playing strikes that are actually new, with new variants, new mechanics within the strikes, not just having the same stupid thing as standing on a plate for 2 hours and then progressing to the other arena. Like, they should really go to Witch Queen Secrecy, or at least change up some of the things like the seasonal mechanics and put them in the strikes. Like, well, how cool would it be if strikes had the more rewards than it was normally given, just normal strikes, but it had mechanics similar to the Witch Queen campaign. A lot of people has loved the difficulty that the Witch Queen campaign brought, that Witch Queen necessarily brought in general, and we don't have that in this. Of course, we have Grandmasters and we have Nightfalls, but there isn't no middle ground between when it comes to strikes for me. You wanted to play something super easy or super tough that just either both gives you rewards that are just meaningless, like blue rares that no one gives a crap about, or spend like 3 hours trying to finish a grandmaster that won't even give you anything that will, make it make groundbreaking, experiences. Of course, again, there's a lot of people who love grandmasters, but that's just not me. So to hear the news that there's gonna be older, younger strikes getting more attention in a new playlist, that is just very exciting. But yeah, guys, that wraps up the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Again, remember to subscribe and like, to turn on that bell so you never miss out on any changes. But one of the biggest things I want to tell you guys, a little treat for all the people who stayed until the end, is that the Lightfall giveaway I'm doing on the 17th, whoever can go down to the comments down below, subscribe, and of course like, because that would mean a lot. But let me know your thoughts on the new season in the comments, and say hashtag Lightfall giveaway. I will give an extra entry into the Lightfall giveaway just for this limited time this week. So please be sure to go and do that. Show your friends if you can go to the comments down below, and of course if you subscribe and like, as well as let me know your thoughts on Season of the Seraph, and comment hashtag Lightfall giveaway. I will give an extra entry to the Lightfall giveaway for you. So little treat there for you guys. Hope you guys are excited as I am, and I will be streaming it on the 17th. But other than that, I hope you guys do enjoy, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.